Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS. Fans, brews, and Broncos news.
I've got the Broncos blues because the Broncos did lose. They lost in Denver, but that's okay because we're together. Okay, we're done singing. Anyway, guys, Bourbon, Broncos, no BS Postgame podcast. My name's Kevin. I got Adam, John, and Scott, the flag man. Not really telling the guys we were going to open with song, and we did anyway. So, but I got the blues out because that's how I'm feeling today, and that's okay because we have a lot to talk about. And as John's has it on his thing right there, the future is bright in Denver. So we're going to talk about the game. Obviously, it was very ugly for both teams, a little uglier for us, but I think we saw some promise, and we can see what this team's going to look like in the next year, next 2 years, and so on and so forth. And we'll look back on this the season and the fact that 2 seasons in a row now, we have outdone the expectations set for us at the beginning of the season. And if that doesn't give you hope, maybe the fact that we don't have Russell Wilson, holding us back anymore isn't that just find a reason to have hope. There's tons of reasons, but let's start talking about it. We got people in the chat already between Gary, Michael, and Gus. You guys are awesome. Post your comments, post your questions. Let's start talking about it. Adam, buddy, I'm not even going to ask how you're doing today. Just how you feeling about everything and what you thinking?
I got I'm not gonna say it was a bad thing because I got a ticket at the last minute to go to the title game. It was a bucket list thing to cross off my list, so I was very happy about being there. The experience itself was like I imagine when you bite down on a popcorn kernel and you crack your tooth, that it's like tolerable for a little bit, and then in an hour and a half it becomes excruciatingly hard to deal with. And that was pretty much how my thought towards the end of that game, of just trying to find a reason on how we were going to pull this one out of the fire and just failing to come up with anything. So I'm sure we'll talk more about it. If I feel subdued right now, it's really because I am. I'm feeling it today. So yeah.
We'll get you feeling better by the end of the show.
Yeah. This will be a nice little group therapy session of getting it all out there and decompressing from yesterday. So
for sure.
I mean, best wishes to you, friend. I mean, you got to get different popcorn. Apparently, I don't know what you're eating.
It was that cheap stuff
every time you eat popcorn.
Yeah.
Or if you're eating just the kernels, I think
toughens up your teeth. It doesn't toughen up your teeth like they said it would. So.
I was gonna say I can speak to your dentist and just say don't do that.
Oh.
I mean, maybe that'll help you in the future. I don't know, but
writing that down.
Yeah, Adam, today was a tough day. Yesterday was an even tougher day to be a Bronco fan. Just the way that game went, and wow, we are all feeling down today. But to Kev's point, the future is bright. I promise you. And this game is going to be tough to dissect. There's about 6 different ways that we lost this game, and 6 different ways that I think we could have put ourselves in a position to win this game. And unfortunately, we didn't follow through. I don't feel like the better team won yesterday, and
no,
I think that we should be preparing for a Super Bowl in 2 weeks right now, but we're not, and that's just how it goes. Sometimes that's life, unfortunately, and there's a ton of excuses that we can make, but at the end of the day, the team didn't get it done, and here we are getting ready for the postseason, the off season, and at the end of the day, also, I'm going to say that phrase apparently more than twice, probably, but we we were one of the top 4 teams remaining in the league. And I don't think, I mean, I was one of the very few people that bought into the Sean Payton hype just because I'm always optimistic in the offseason. But to be one of the last 4 teams standing it's an accomplishment, and we can't overlook that. So I'll pass it over to you, Mr. Flagman.
Well, first off, okay, I think the future is going to be extra bright. I think we've got a lot of great things going on. Second off, Gus, I know you're a hugger. You did not come by and give me the pregame hug you usually do. So
that's what it is.
Kind of
that's the reason.
On you.
Gus.
You were not where you should have been. But let me tell you, this game really came down to about 2 plays, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And there is no way I tell you what, I know New England fans were dancing out of the stadium as they should have been because they got away with one.
Yep.
You know, when your touchdown drive is 12 yards, I don't know how proud you can be that we had a backup quarterback that I once referred to as shitty, and I was corrected. I really wanted Stiddy to do the job.
Yeah, we all did.
I mean, all he had to do, he had one job. Don't F it up.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know what he was thinking. Just take the sack, kick the ball, call it a day. And I love Sean Payton. We've needed a coach like Sean Payton. But to not only forego 3 points, to go 2 scores ahead with knowing the weather's going to be crap. You knew that, but you skipped the field goal. And not only that, God, if I see another fucking bubble screen, my brain is going to explode. That's the freaking play. And then he comes on and says, well, I think we had a really good play. Really good play was to throw it 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage for a 1 yard that you needed and not block like you've done all year instead of just lining up, handing it to Pretense or having Pretense grab your ass
and push you forward.
And push you forward a yard makes no damn sense. So, and that's what pisses me off the most is stand up and say, I messed up.
Yeah.
And the one thing I really do respect about Shanahan is he got to a point where he said, man, our offense is kind of stale. I'm going to turn it over to Gary and let Gary call some plays because I think I'm becoming too predictable. I tell you what, Sean needs to have a humble pie that's about this big, and he needs to start eating it.
No,
but
kind of got it served to him. So it's just if he's going to eat it or not. But Scott, the good thing is you're not going to have to see any bubble screens till about September. So I mean, positive note, slight, silver lining. I don't know. Look, let's get into it.
We'll see some bubble screens. We'll just see them ran properly.
Right, there you go.
Because it's not the bubble screen; it's how you execute the bubble screen. That's all.
Yeah. Well, let's talk. I mean, and we don't want to spend the whole episode on it, but I know it's been a big point of conversation since yesterday. Look, if you had Bo Nix out there, maybe fine, do something fancy on 4th and 1, right? I have no problem with him going for it. But the fact we had Jarrett Stidham, I don't know why the play call, even just during the week, you plan for it. Hey, if we find ourselves in a 4th and 1 in a position where we want to go for it, the play call is this. It's a QB sneak. It's a tush push. It's hanging off the Prentice. It's line up, get at the line really quickly, hype the ball and try to get them, caught off guard. Don't let them rest. Don't let them think that. But as soon as you called the timeout, meant that we're not going to do something simple. We're going to sit around. We're going to think about it. And they already knew we were going to do something. They're like, oh, Sean Payton is going to be Sean Payton right now. He's going to outcoach himself in this situation. And that's what happened. Look, Jarrett Stidham, yeah, there are a couple instances there where he took he had some mistakes. He should have taken the sack. He should have thrown the ball away sooner, whatever. But we can also point to the offensive line. They let some pressure through that normally they don't. So they kind of set him up for failure as well in a couple of those positions where it very well could have been like, dude, if you had blocked better, that play could have at least been, the ball could have been thrown away versus pressure getting to Stiddy so quickly. So, look, for what the position Jarrett Stidham was in, I think he did everything he did what we expected of him, right? Like we wanted him to do better, but
anybody reasonable would have expected of him. And I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're good. Go for
it. I love the optimism of Broncos Country. I really do. I think it kind of evens out how kind of cynical and middle of the road that I can be sometimes. But there were actually. Yeah, I know. I could be really snarky and very condescending sometimes.
Interesting.
But there were legitimately people thinking that Stidham was going to play lights out in these next 2 games, cause either a quarterback controversy next season or get dealt for a buttload of whatever. And it was just, oh my God, guys, he is who he is for a reason. And Bo filled in so many of the gaps that we've had on offense this year, and asking anybody else to do that was going to be asking a lot. And to Flagman, to your credit, no, this has been the offensive approach all year, and it's been maddeningly, just inconsistent to the point of it could make a preacher cuss. But it and to ask somebody else to do asking somebody else to try to do what Bo does, even to some extent, was asking a lot. And then Sean Payton forgetting he has a running game again, all the weird derpy offensive plays again, outsmarting himself and taking points off the board again. Like, I totally agree with you, Scott, that I would like to see something change, but I mean, Sean's the play caller, and unless there is a mutiny that brewing that we don't know about, that's not changing anytime soon.
It raises the question.
He needs to just be smarter, and accept accountability. Well, my biggest issue is dying on the hill that he did the right things.
Yeah. Sean Payton outcoached himself in this one for sure. And the Broncos lost the game more than the Patriots won it. I'll say it.
Yep.
And the better team lost yesterday. Yesterday. And that's why it's a tough pill to swallow for sure. But as far as Stidham goes, I think he did what we asked him to do. That second drive, I was like, the first drive, it felt like, okay, we got the cobwebs out of the way.
Yeah.
Second drive started out rough a little bit too. And then that huge pass to Mims was like, okay, maybe we do have something here.
Yeah.
Maybe we have something here. That throw to Sutton in the end zone was a beautiful play call. And then from there, it just fizzled out. And I think when we go back to that 4th and 1 play, I feel like Sean was just, feeling the energy, feeling hyped up. We're up 7-0. Let's just keep the momentum. And it's like, maybe someone should have been like, hey, why don't we just take the points? Because one, we know what the weather's going to be in the second half. And we know what this game is going to look like later on. We know it's going to be a close game. Going up by 2 scores here wouldn't be the worst case scenario. Granted, at the time, I did not hate that we went for it on 4th and 1 because
I still don't.
In hindsight, I did
hated
because
the call. The call was terrible.
I still think 10
hindsight,
points would have meant enough to win it. But continue. Sorry.
It would have.
I didn't know what the weather was going to be like in the second half. It looked great in the first half. So I don't know. It was pretty shitty in Colorado Springs. I'll tell you that in the first half. And so I don't know. Yeah, it seems like maybe we're just getting different weather. But I'll tell you what, the Broncos knew what the weather was going to be in the second half. So this is going to be a close, grinded out game, and you can't leave points on the board. I still think, okay, if you're going to go for it there, you cannot call that play with your backup quarterback. Come on.
Yeah.
QB sneak it, hand it off to, I don't care, Harvey, Prentice. If you hand it off to Prentice and doesn't get it, we're going to be having the same criticism, just in a different way today. But like,
at least you got a big body going forward
at
1
least,
yard.
yeah, you're going 1 yard forward on a handoff rather than I don't know what that design play was. And like Kevin said, you called the timeout. You gave your hand away a little bit there. If you're going to go and you do a QB sneak, you don't call a timeout. You go out there and you freaking run a play. It's like they couldn't decide what they wanted to do. And the Patriots were like, well, something's going on here. So we're going to be prepared. And guess what? They were.
Chose the one play that we run 12, 13 times a game. What a shock. I don't know. It is maddening to say, well, I thought we had a really good play called. Come on, man.
No, that's the thing. We didn't.
And then to say, well, I don't know.
Yeah. So look, I don't want to go for it, John. We need to move on though.
To your point, Flagman, when Sean Payton goes to the podium and says, yeah, there was a stoppage of play, there was a TV timeout or something like that. I was like, no, you called a timeout. Like, what are you talking about? There was a stoppage of play. Like, don't tell me that you got to the huddle, you couldn't decide what you were going to do, that it was going to be a delay game, which in hindsight would have forced a field goal and maybe we win the game.
I wish we would have saved the timeout too, but
look, guys, I know we could spend the whole hour venting about this, right? But fact of the matter, there's more stuff to talk about, and there's some good stuff to talk about too, right? Especially on the defense side of the ball. But let's stay with the offense here a little bit longer. Look, couple of things. First off, missing J.K. Dobbins, man. Like, I'm not saying that they should have rushed him out to play if he wasn't ready, but just the fact RJ Harvey just isn't there yet. Now, he still has potential. I'm not saying that he's a bust. I'm not saying we should move on from him. But when we get into the offseason discussions and we talk about free agency, someone like a Breece Hall, we're going to need somebody that we know can stay healthy. Sorry, JK, you did your part. You did everything you could, but you just can't stay healthy. We got to move on and find somebody who is, just as good, maybe even a tiny bit of a downgrade for you, but we know we can count on you to be healthy through the season, at least, not – again, like, oh, wow, he got injured again. We're also missing Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant, unfortunately, went down again in, like, the third play of the game. Like, how unfortunate it is for that guy. Like, really give the guy a break. So I'm like, let's hope that this doesn't become a pattern for him as well, right? But we're going to see what that looks like. Also,
extra weight from having to carry his guardian cap. I'm sure that was
cold. Is what hurt his hammy. Yeah, that's what hurt his hammy.
I'll go with that. Yeah,
I'm throwing ideas out.
I know.
After causing more injuries is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, no, and Roy. So no way RJ is a bust. I don't say that at all. But I'm also not ready to hand him the keys. I'm not ready to say you are the lead running back for the Broncos. He can be a very strong RB2 next year, and we can continue to work him up to an RB1, but he ain't there yet.
Third down back. How about that? Let's not put Bidet in. He's our third down back. It's one that can be out there first, second, and I guess fourth downs potentially.
Yeah. So wide receivers, we're basically missing our top or our number 2, number 3 wide receivers, right? That sucks in addition to already having Jarrett Stidham out there. Tight end play. Man, we just haven't had a tight end play all season long. And Evan Ingram to come out and say, like, it kind of was not like it wasn't his fault. Like, it just the game plan didn't, involve him very much, it sounds like. But we gotta find a way to get tight end involved. So look, there's some opportunity here in the offseason for us to retool this offense, and they really do. They got to get some wide receiver help. They got to get running back help, tight end help, and those, something. But I can look at this game and say, man, if we had Bo, dude, this game would have been over at halftime.
Wash.
You know, like there's, and that's where we can lead into the defense. But just to wrap up, any other topics on the offense you guys want to cover? Go for it.
I have been saying all year, and I know that the conditions made it a slog for everybody, but I have been saying all year we need a number one game breaker wideout. No, that is not Courtland Sutton. No, yes, Courtland Sutton has not played well this postseason, and that you need weapons for Bo at this point. If you're gonna be a pass happy team, you got to give him some more weapons than just Courtland Sutton. And throwing Hail Mary balls to him every once in a while that he pulls down. I'm fully on board. But again, I mean, J.K. Dobbins would have been nice, but would Sean Payton have utilized J.K. Dobbins? I don't think R.J. Harvey. I think R.J. Harvey is worthy enough of getting 10 to 15 carries. That didn't happen even when the conditions were bad. I
13.
I said from the start that you're gonna have to run the ball more to balance out whatever Stiddy isn't going to be able to do, and that didn't happen. And the game wasn't out of reach. This wasn't like down 2 scores. I mean, it was 10-7 from the second quarter on, and we still couldn't find a running game. I mean, the offensive line was bad. The 2 postseason games, and for having 2 All-Pros on the line, why were they bad? Why was their protection bad? Why was the run game bad? So I don't know that it's all 100% on Sean. I don't think it's
there's blame to go around. Yeah,
there's a lot to go around, and it all kind of manifested itself at the worst possible time, and especially when the elements did get bad. I'll tell you from being in the stadium, like it was a slog to get through when it was basically just 3 plays and punt from both sides for almost an entire half.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
The Patriots are basically they were throwing the ball away just to get off the field on offense and put the defense back on there. And I mean, credit to them. I guess they won the game, so can't really say it was a bad game plan. But
no,
to your point, Adam, I've been a court. What's the right phrase here? Apologist.
Apologist. That was the word I was going to look for. And
I love the guy, but I can make apologies for the regular season drops, and they match up with the best in the league as far as the amount of targets he gets. But in the postseason, when it's the most important, he's just had too many. I think they only credited him with 1 yesterday. I'd call at least 2 on that, and they were first down plays. And if you are our number 1 receiver, you got to make those catches, and he didn't. And look, I'm on board. I'm on board, Adam. We need a number 1 wide receiver. That's not Courtland Sutton.
He'd wear all you guys down.
He'd make him an amazing number 2. I'll take him as our number 2, but we need someone that that we can just go to on this. But I love Courtland Sutton, but yesterday he showed it again, and it's so freaking frustrating because those are one of those 6 instances that maybe that changes the game and we win it if he doesn't drop 1 or potentially 2 of those passes. So I'm frustrated with it, and it's so. But to your point, the run game is what. When it got into those crappy, the snow and the bad weather and all that stuff, that it was going to be 1 or 2 things that won that game. It was going to be the team that could run the ball better, which was the Patriots in this case, because the Broncos apparently can't run the ball at all, even though we're supposed to have one of the best offensive lines and all this other stuff, but we can't figure out how to run the ball 2 seasons in a row, by the way, because Javonte Williams had a great season with the Cowboys. Just saying. Maybe it's
into the jar, man.
I don't know. But there's that. Or a team is going to have just 1 good drive that's going to win the game. And neither of those things went in the Broncos' favor. How do we have Bo Nix? Yes, I think 100% we win this game because he is, 1, part of the running game. And when the pressure was coming at Stidham, I believe, Bo's not going to have that just ridiculous fumble. And also he can escape and potentially turn that into, if nothing else, a 0-loss play. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Hey, you could have lost 10, and you would have been fine. But
or you take the sack, you don't lose the game on. But you can't lose the game.
Been garbage since Christmas. He was dropping balls in Kansas City. I don't know what's gotten a hold of this guy, but it's been
a whole wide receiver crew. But
of drops, and then he'll make this play where he grabs this amazing catch where his body's 4 yards out of the field of play, but his toes tap down. How do you make that and you can't catch it when it's right on you? And it's mind-numbing. I love Cortland, but for the last month and a half, he's been garbage. I'm sorry. I don't know what he's got going on, and I really don't care. He was paid to make catches, and he didn't do it. And it's frustrating. As far as the running backs, we kick a field goal. We're up 10. That team is starting. The Patriots are going to start pressing. They're going to start, I don't know, trying to throw the ball, which they could not do without this circus play, which pisses me off they made that one, but that's fine. But they are not going to be able to. Mays, you're going to put the ball in Drake may get his ass kicked if he keeps dropping back. And we did that for him. We let him off the hook. You know, Fonga drops another one, and I love Fonga. But if he does nothing this offseason, he learns how to catch the damn ball. But I'm not putting it on Hufanga. We should have put it.
I'm sorry.
Put it on the
we
defense.
Should have put it on the deep. We should have put it on New England just to have to make plays, and we didn't because we just did stupid stuff.
Yep. Look, Jeremy, we already talked. We already talked about that. If you want to go back to the beginning of the show, we spent about 20 minutes talking about this. So we're not going to talk about it. But the point here is,
spend an hour on that. If we could spend an hour.
And I'm not letting us do that, guys.
What a good show.
What we've seen so far, there's blame to go around between the offensive line, between Stiddy making a couple of bad decisions, between that fourth one, between the running backs not getting going or not even getting involved. But when they were called up, they really didn't get anything going. Wide receivers dropping the ball. Look, there's blame to go around, right? And you can't look at any single one. But if I am Sean Payton, I am kind of looking at this saying, look, I got to make something happen. Because we're not going to waste, like Sean McDermott staying with the Bills for so long. Like, you're just wasting good years of Josh Allen's, prime time or prime career. We're not going to do that for Bo. So we either get to the Super Bowl and win one soon, or we're going to move on, And I love Sean. We wouldn't be here without Sean Payton. We wouldn't have Bo Nix without Sean Payton, But we're not going to wait 6 or 7 years at the same time. So there is, Roy Horn, 𝐿𝐼𝐺𝐻. That's kind of what this is, and that's okay. We all need it. We all need it.
We're all sharing.
But
we're unloading.
Look, wide receivers, man, we cannot lead the league for a third year in a row in drops.
Hey, and technically we're second.
Okay. I don't care. We cannot be in the top two. In the top 2 of dropped passes 3 years in a row. Look, yeah, exactly. But here's one thing before we get into the halftime announcements, guys. For all the talk the national talking heads have said all year long about how Bo Nix was holding this offense back, I think it was very clear that Bo Nix was elevating everybody around him. And that's another key to this. Not only should we have won with Bo Nix, and I can't prove it, but I'm very confident in saying that game would have been over by halftime because of the defense, and we'll talk about the defense here in a second. But we retool the offense. We get him some more weapons. These guys kind of get some things figured out. And, man, again, Bo Nix is going to come in his third year even more confident, even more experienced. And so there's bright things and happy things to look forward to in the very near term. And again, to be one of the top 4 teams in the league, man, like there's 28 other teams sitting at home watching those games. Okay, so and this is again, you think back to where we were 2 years ago. We didn't even know who our quarterback was going to be 2 years ago. So sitting here right now, I get it. It sucks, but yeah, maybe we need to fight. There need to be some changes. Yeah, and here, Michael, I haven't brought it up yet, and I was waiting for the right moment. But here's the other person to blame is Nick Wright, and I guarantee you, Nick Wright. He sat there and he goes, "You know what? I've been picking against the Broncos all year long. I'm going to pick them this time to jinx." So Nick Wright, screw you, buddy. I blame you like 95% of the reaon why we lost.
Why is Nick Wright anyways? I don't understand.
I don't, because he riles people up. He just look. They could pay me. They could pay me a quarter of what they pay him, and I could make myself look like as much of a dumbass as he does, and pay me a whole lot less. So anyway, guys, we have some more to talk about. We have some good stuff to talk about on the defense side of the ball, and take more of your comments and questions. Don't go anywhere quite yet, guys. I know the season's over, but tomorrow night, we have another regular episode of the Denver Broncos No BS flagship show at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Make sure you tune in for that. And then after that, every Tuesday night, we're still going to keep the show at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. It's going to be a shorter version, about 30 minutes long, covering different aspects. We will be obviously gearing up and doing longer shows when it comes to free agency, the draft, ramping up for preseason, and all that stuff, guys. So stick with us. We'll be announcing when all that stuff's happening. But don't think that just because the off season has started that we're going to go away. We're still going to be here on Tuesday nights. Also, make sure you're following us on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and all those places so you can see the other shorts we're going to be posting throughout the off season as well, talking about the Broncos can do to retool and amp up their offensive game and get ready for a Super Bowl run next year. Because I'm going to say it right now, I think the Broncos are going to Super Bowl next year. We're close, and we get some more weapons. We get rid of that dead cap space that's been holding us back. Dude, like what's holding us back at that point? So let's see them go out there next year. So get ready for it. Make sure you go follow us at broncosandbourbon.com. It is free to sign up right now for another couple weeks. At the end of the Super Bowl, I will be getting a screenshot of all the people that have signed up. And if you have by that point, you will be getting a free upgrade to the membership tier without paying. Once that is introduced later on in the offseason, once I figure out how to work that into the website. But otherwise, you're going to have to pay. And look, Adam is writing some great stuff, some great articles over there. We're building some, different things to interact and have fun with other fans and whatnot. So make sure you sign up at broncosandbourbon.com. And then lastly, I'm putting it in the chat for everybody right now. Go ahead and join the Broncos Country Discord. If you're a Discord user, link's right there. A great group of fans. That page has been growing for the last couple of weeks, and you want to make sure that you're ready to go by the time the season starts. And I know the offseason sucks, but it'll be over before we'll be talking about preseason football and everything in just a short matter of time. All right, guys, we talked about the offense. We talked about the coaching and this and that. Lots of bad things. But how about that defense? Were they perfect? No. Did they let Drake May run around a bit? And that was probably the biggest thing that we saw. Yeah, okay, that was probably big. But Drake May looked like absolute garbage. He looked just as good as Jarrett Stidham. And so, look, this is a guy that you put him in front of a really good defense, and he crumbled. Like, that dude was shook early on, and he never bounced back. And you could say that even if the weather had stayed good the whole game, I don't think he would have looked any better. So couple things we could have gotten more pressure to him, all that stuff. But let's talk about the defense in general. I was really impressed with what the defense did. Hufanga coming up with a couple big plays. Pat Surtain, really good pass defense there. And yeah, just overall, like they did everything they could for the Broncos to win, minus getting a turnover. But in general, like they basically held their end of the bargain. So what did you guys see from defense?
Who wants to go first?
I thought the defense was solid from the start to the finish. The only thing I have They got to make those plays when they have them put in front of them. You got to get those turnovers. But other than that, this defense was solid. I mean, they put pressure on me. I can't complain about it. They did a very, very commendable job. Now, could we have maybe stopped their run a little bit more? I don't know. They only averaged about 2.9 a carry. They ran the ball like, 40 times?
Mm-hmm.
And other than May coming out of those rushes and getting some long scrambles, they didn't do anything. They had 12 yards in the first quarter. The defense, I can't say the defense is to blame in any way, shape, or form. Next year, I'd like to see them be a little more aggressive, stripping the ball, catching the interceptions when they're presented. Because I don't know, that first play to PS2. I mean, he had it covered perfectly.
He's not coming with.
It would have been nice for him to make
played that
the
perfectly.
turn
I'm
on it
sorry,
and
that's not an
intercept.
interception. You're not intercepting.
Yeah,
that.
I don't have a problem with that. Now, mind you, I don't have a problem with that. The defense was great, but it would be nice to start seeing those turnovers more consistently. We didn't get it. What did we get? One?
Nope.
Nope. And the 4th and 1 that they gave them,
They
we
stopped
that.
They stopped
Yeah.
it.
Give me a break. You had a guy run in from the sidelines that it was this short, but the other guy runs in and they make it by
both
much.
ran in and gave it to him short, and then they overturned that.
I just don't get that. That's
Yeah.
I tell you what, if the point of emphasis this year is to figure out how to spot the ball better, I would love it. They got the technology so much they could figure it out.
Yeah, I think.
Yep, part-time refs. That's what I'm not. They're part-time refs. Like,
I love the defense.
I'll say this about the refs overall this season: sucked. And not just the refs, but the NFL in general. Like, you have these, like, you say you're reviewing them at the home office of in New York is all I hear. We reviewed it in New York and it's fine. And it's like, could you at least put on a show and like let us see the replay of what you're looking at? Like, can you make us feel a little bit better of what you're calling this based on? Because
transparency,
the transparency is crap this year. It's crap. There's been multiple times where it's like, we can't challenge this because it's a turnover. Yet you're just saying, yeah, it's fine. And it's like, I don't know. Anyways, I'll get off that soapbox real quick. But no, as far as your point, Flagman, for the running game, like the Patriots they played the script of the weather, run the freaking ball, and the Broncos didn't. Come on, Sean Payton. If there was ever a time to freaking commit to the run, and I get it, not having Bo Nix hurts because he's part of the run game, especially in these type of situations. Like, Drake made 2 or 3 very good plays where he escaped the pocket and they had one huge run that I think was part of that field goal drive, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
it was
There was at least 2 other plays where we just couldn't get him down, and he escaped, and that was Bo Nix. The only thing is, like, I think Bo Nix would have played better than what Drake May did. It's just so frustrating to see a guy that I don't think is Drake May known for his legs as much as Bo Nix is.
Drake May can scoot a little bit, and
apparently we saw it.
It was that big 30-yard scramble that really kind of set up the scoring drive. But again, your defense allowed 10 points. Your defense allowed their primary running back and you held him under 3 yards a carry. A guy who's been a big sledgehammer in these playoffs so far. I know that the turnover thing has been a weird anomaly, but I think that we should probably treat it as that. And I know whatever when you have a defense like ours that's very aggressive, it gets after the quarterback like they did. To not have the corresponding numbers that go along with that, again, I'm gonna say that's a little bit of an outlier. I'm not gonna say it's consistent.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
that
agree.
I don't know that any wholesale changes need to be made. If there is critiques to be laid at the defense's feet, though, I mean, John Franklin Myers, I think that dude is. I think he's immensely talented, but he's acted like he's had one foot out the door since the start since 2 weeks into the before the end of the regular season, because I haven't heard from him making any substantial plays for a while.
I have heard from Malcolm Roach.
Malcolm
Yeah,
Roach
that's
was
who we
there.
gave money to. So,
Alex, I know we love Alex Singleton.
He's probably gone too.
Alex Singleton's age and the fact that he can be isolated and exploited sometimes, I think is a cause for concern. But again,
he played a good
if
game.
we're just looking at what the defense could have done better, I am not sure that they could have done much. They held Drake May to 86 yards passing. I don't know that. I mean, I don't know that what they could have done better. I probably feel like a lot of us do, that there was enough out there that we could have taken advantage of that. I feel like if I go off, I'm like close to going off on just a crazy rant about like just.
Do you want me to pause you, Adam? It seems like you want an out right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna hit the exit. I'm gonna hit the eject button on that one. So
I was begging, man. When the weather got so bad, I was just begging for a turnover, a slip sack, probably not an interception because they only ran the ball, which they probably should have done, and which limits the chance of a turnover. But guess what? Had we been up, had we kicked a field goal earlier on, maybe they would have been forced to do something more than just run it.
Perspective.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
The defense was they were swarming. I mean, the first sack of the game took, I think it was the second drive, I think it was the second drive. Q Robinson, which if we're gonna talk about the future is bright, that was a great play.
Yeah,
he's just been amping up his reps every game. And so that was an exciting thing to say. If there's some bright spots to take from this game, Q Robinson loved the play there.
Yeah. There's going to be – go for it.
I just want to put this. I'm not trying to interject about the referees anymore. But did they get a memo that said don't call offensive holding on the offensive line during the preseason? I mean, during the postseason. I mean, I was watching the Rams in Seattle. I'm thinking, that's holding. That's holding. They're not calling it. I bet you if you did, because you guys are smart, you could probably do a little in-depth research. They're not calling holding on the offensive line this.
Well, it's one of those things like as soon as they start calling those things, we say, oh, the refs are determining the game. The refs are getting too involved. Let them play ball. And so, Scott, I see what you're saying. Like, I agree. But then as soon as they start calling those things, they're like, oh, no, they're getting way too involved. Let these guys – and they kind of do the same thing in hockey. When it comes to playoffs, they put that whistle away. By the time it comes to the Stanley Cup final, the refs are like, I'm not going to be the reason this game is won or lost. Unless it's like blatantly obvious, we're not going to be the reason to give some team an advantage. So I get it, but it's I think a reffing culture thing.
Last night by an offensive line, like spun around. It looked like Hulk Hogan tried to put the sleeper hold on some of these guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Like, Flagman, I saw a couple of those against the Broncos too. Like, to be fair, I was okay if they're not going to call it against us, then don't call against them. So I really didn't hate the reffing situation yesterday. But overall, this season, not.
I'm not even talking about
In the
yes,
regular season, yeah, bad.
playoffs in general this year. They are just letting them just maul these defensive linemen. And that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, look, the roughing stuff during the regular season, I agree. But they're part-time refs. I know. I'm just saying, but they're part-time refs. They want to be. That was part of the agreement with the NFL and the ref union was that they would remain part-time. They're the ones that want to be part-time, which I don't understand, but it's going to be interesting when. That's the way I understand it when I was looking into it. Yeah. So look here. Yeah.
Fact check, Kevin.
Just saying. You can correct me. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the way I understood it.
That's weird.
There are some things with the defense that need to be corrected, and I've seen some questions in the chat here of what's going to happen with Vance Joseph. I think Vance Joseph is gone. Where he goes, I don't know. I'm not even certain who he's interviewed with. I think he's had multiple, but he's gone, and we're going to have to find somebody. And I think some of the conversations are, can we get a bigger, can we find a way to stop the run a little better? Like, what are we going to do to make sure we kind of get those turnovers going again? What are we going to do to make sure that, we're not going to take a step backwards in terms of our defensive play? So I don't know, guys. Like, it is what it is. I think Vance Joseph is gone, and maybe it's okay. Like, he did what he was supposed to. He built this defense to win the AFC West, but this defense can also take a step forward, and I just don't know if Vance Joseph is the right guy to do it or not.
No, you're wrong.
Okay.
You're saying
I'm saying it doesn't matter.
We're going to
it doesn't matter. He's going to be gone
without Vance Joseph. Do you realize the
Steelers are going to be fine?
I'm saying don't go backwards.
The Steelers are excited that Tomlin's gone, and they went and got Mike McCarthy. Like, are you thinking any Steelers fan is excited about that?
No, I'm thinking the Broncos are going to be smarter than hiring somebody like a McCarthy. And I think the Broncos are going to be smart in who they hire. And I'm not saying they're going to take an immediate step forward, but I'm hoping that, and I think the thing is like, hey, don't take a step backwards.
I mean, this defense was on pace to break the sack record for most of the season. They were aggressive. I think the turnovers were an anomaly, like Adam said. If we lose Vance Joseph, it is the conversation of who steps up and how do we fill that void of Vance Joseph. Like, it's kind of a nice arc for Vance Joseph. Broncos Country hating him when he was a head coach. For him coming back, Broncos Country hating him initially when he's the defense coordinator. Maybe rightfully so, while they implement a new system. And I think we all hated it for a while there. And then, guess what? They figured it out. And I'm just saying he's a hell of a fucking defensive coach. And
he is.
I apologize for cursing there.
He is. I agree.
I like it a lot.
I think the biggest thing this offseason, besides hopefully getting some offensive playmakers, is filling some of these coaching voids. Whether it's Davis Webb, Vance Joseph, whatever, because these guys are being sought out by the rest of the NFL. I'll let you guys.
Davis Webb, I don't know what he's done.
He's just developed. He's just developed.
Bo Nix.
I know, but how much is that?
A relationship with Bo Nix and brought out some of that
people are looking at him for head coach.
Yeah, because they want a young
Davis Webb is a QB coach. Come on,
right?
Man.
Yeah,
and he's well thought of.
If people look at him as a head coach,
I think well of him. I don't think I want him as a head coach.
I don't think we're talking about him as a head coach.
I'm not saying
he's going to be a head coach, but I think
eventually
think that Bo's development has been hinging on Davis Webb. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
I don't know if we'll have. I don't know how much more growth that you can expect from the defense with as well as they played this year outside of the turnovers. You're probably going to lose JFM. There's going to be a couple other losses that you're going to see. Probably a guy like
Leonard's going to be fine. He's going to be fine.
And the DCE will probably be Jimmy Leonard. I think that'll be just a worthy
That's a
defensive
good
replacement.
call.
I think if there's something that really needs to be addressed on the defense, and I know that Jared has been asking for this. I have also been inducted into the Please Draft an Inside Linebacker Club, which I'm excited
ILD
about.
bros.
By the way. And I would also I don't, those guys don't grow on trees, but they need to have a long-term idea of where they want to go at the inside linebacker position, and it needs to be a guy that can play all three downs. Dre Greenlaw was a really great signing, and it has not been the signing that we all thought he would be. Justin Sternod has his moments. Justin Sternod is a special teams guy, and we saw what is a great backup. And we've seen that Alex Singleton, yeah, when you're in front of him, he'll thump you and he gets a bunch of tackles, but he's also a little miscast in what Denver wants to do, and having to play like a hybrid nickel defense. So if there's places to grow, it's going to be that. But I also would caution, like, don't expect that this defense will look the same next year, and may have a little bit of a drop off, and may have to take some steps back in order for them to get back to where they were this year.
But I think if we grow the offense and the offense takes a huge step forward, it can mitigate that. Like, I'm not too worried about it. But if the offense is able to be more consistent, then we're okay if we take a little bit of a step back for a year while we try to, again, maybe add some more pieces through the draft. You know, these guys need to learn whatever new system's going to be put in place or whatever. Like, but, you know, as long as it's not a major drop off or whatever, I'm not too worried about it. But the fact of the matter is, I just don't see Vance Joseph staying.
There are 4 head coaching jobs open right now, and I will be holding my breath until they're all gone with Vance.
Well, Philip Rivers is going to get hired for one of them. So
he stepped out. He's back.
He already stepped back. He finally
pulled out. I think that's perfect. No, I think that's perfect. You go be the head coach, and then if your quarterback's not doing a good job, you just suit up at halftime yourself, and you go out there and play.
What about this arc? Head coach of the Broncos, defensive coordinator for the Cardinals, defensive coordinator for the Broncos, head coach of the Cardinals. Is that what Vance Joseph is about to do?
I think that's what he's about to do.
Might be.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. From
It's
what
a
I
short
read,
drive. It's a short drive.
From what I read, the Bidwells really do like VJ. They have a good relationship with VJ. It also doesn't sound like Arizona is a destination place for young coaches to go. So, I mean, when two of the jobs are Arizona and Vegas, it's not because those are great places to coach either, and Cleveland. So,
turns out bad teams have coaching opportunities.
Yep.
Last 10.
Yep.
Now he's
10
going to
years
be
in
Arizona.
the Broncos as well, by the way.
Look,
Leonard's going to be our DC. That's fine.
You seem very confident. You must have insider information.
I think it's what it's going to be. Leonard, our DC. You know, and who knows what we're going to get there. I don't know. But I think he's been learning under Vance. He was learning in Baltimore when they had a good defense. He's got a good background in what we're looking for. So I don't have a problem with Leonard being promoted.
No. Well, guys, it's going to be something that we're going to have to watch, and that we're definitely going to talk about as the time gets closer for that decision to be made, and once it is made. But this was a good therapy session, I think, for all of us tonight. I know I needed it. However, you know, and I think we'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow night's show, but it's about time, you know, we have to start looking forward. And we're going to do some closing thoughts here. I'll go ahead and just kind of start with mine just because, you know, I don't have too much to say other than what we've talked about mostly already. But, you know, I go back to when we had Peyton Manning. And we kind of knew we only had a short number of years with him, right? After Super Bowl 48, it was like, man, do we get like one more, like maybe 2 more years with this guy? Like, oh, our window isn't, you know. And then by the time we got to Super Bowl 50, we're like, this is it. This is his last time with the Broncos. And we knew that things were going to get very different in Broncos country very quickly. We're sitting here in Bo Nix's second year. already at the AFC Championship game, already winning the AFC West, dethroning Pat Mahomes and the rest of them. And it's like, this is going to be a 10 to 12 year ride, guys. Like this is something that we're going to be able to enjoy for a long period. We're not going to win the Super Bowl every year, but we're going to be contenders every year. And they might still be counting us out at the start of next season saying, oh, blah, 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 this and that, Broncos, whatever. But we know what we have. And I think you're going to see the Broncos be really aggressive in building the offense, through free agency, through the draft, trying to keep the defense kind of at least where it is. And look, there's good things to look forward to here. So, it could be we're sitting here this time next year talking about how the Broncos are going to Super Bowl 61 and getting all amped up for that. So I'm just saying, don't be too down. I know the offseason sucks, but man, it's better than talking in mid-November going, yeah, we're eliminated from the playoffs. Like, what are we doing here? This is a very different feeling, very different time period in Broncos history. And just recognize here's where we are. And it's a great place to be for a very young team with a lot of holes, but a quarterback that we can, count on to elevate the team and just let's enjoy it, guys. Adam, buddy, what you got? Closing thoughts.
So I've heard a lot about hindsight being 2020 and how you can't take what you said in the moment and apply it to what happened. You know what I say? Screw that. No, because when they went for it on fourth down, I know exactly where I was, and I said, "Why are they? It's fourth and half a yard. Just get." You're fourth and half a yard on the 7. Get this one, and then you have 4 shots at the end zone. So yeah, that was really disappointing from Sean Payton. I don't know that he didn't have a forecast. I don't know that he has the Weather Channel as an app on his phone.
He should.
He does.
If he doesn't have it after yesterday, then maybe invest. It's a free app, Sean. It's a free app. So I'm going to tell you right now, when you felt the wind starting to swirl at halftime, yeah, it should have been a sign that there should have been other preparations made for as far as an offensive attack going forward. If there's an offensive, or if there's a change that needs to be made, and I know I say this that'll never happen, but it needs to be Sean Payton giving up the play card. I don't care where it goes. I don't care if it goes to whoever the OC is next year. I mean, that should. I see Kev raising his hand.
You don't care where it goes.
You don't like
I'll do it.
But I'm all about recognizing that we were one of the last 4 teams in the tournament, and that if we would have had our quarterback, then we would have beat the hell out of those guys yesterday. So all I will say is that New England, Kansas City, Buffalo, just take this one, give yourself a nice little pat on the back, because next year we are coming for ours. We are coming for the thing that we were kind of robbed of this year. So just enjoy it for the off season. Next season, it's going to be a totally different story.
Yeah. John.
I said before, we should be preparing for the Super Bowl right now. We're not. And when I say we, I am part of the team. In spirit.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Mine. Yeah. I am part of them. But I said before, there are 6 reasons why we did not. That could have won us this game, and we didn't. And so here are all the excuses that I'm about to lay out. And I hate being that guy. And I don't want to be the team that's like, oh, well, we should have won, but we made blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to do it anyways, because that game was miserable to watch, and we had so many chances to do it. 1, 4th and 1, kick the field goal, we win that game. That's one.
Maybe.
We do. We win that game. Drops.
Maybe.
There were so many drops. In the first half anyway, 3 drops. Sutton and McGlaughlin and Lil Jordan Humphrey. Like, can't have those drops. Obviously, that fumble play, if we don't have that play, we win the game. The missed field goal. Okay, we haven't talked about this at all. And
It was blocked. It was blocked. Like, it wasn't Lutz's fault. It was blocked.
Because they didn't line up correctly. They lined up a yard shorter than they should have. Because why? Because they said they couldn't see the yardage. Fucking walk it out. I'm sorry again for my language, but walk it out. Do not mess that up. If you do that from 7 yards out from the snap, it is not blocked. And that looked good. Like, there's probably going to be good. It was nearly good if it wasn't blocked. I'm sorry. You can't do that in the AFC Championship. Granted, that ties the game, but come on, man. Like, also, if you're the kicker, do not go out there and say we lined up a little short. Bad marketing. Weather. Okay. Reason number 5, weather. If that weather wasn't the way it was, I think we can find a way to win that game. And the last and biggest reason to be excited for the future is Bo Nix. Bo Nix is in that game. We win that game. Hands down, and it's probably an easy win.
Believe, baby.
I agree.
Believe. Scott.
You know what? I'm putting everything behind Bo. And I'm super excited to see the growth between year 2 and year 3. I don't think he comes out like he did at the beginning of this year, where I think he was almost feeling like I gotta do everything.
Yes, overwhelmed. Yeah.
And he's just mechanically, he was way off. And then once he got settled, he started doing the things he could do. All those passes where he overthrew people, I don't think that's going to happen next year. Those are going to be touchdowns. And I really do. I think this is going to be a top 10 offense next year because they're going to add some pieces where Bo's going to be better. And he's going to continue to take control of the team. The defense, I truly believe, is going to be very, very solid, if not better than they were this year. I mean, I don't know why we always fall off at the end of the year, but if yesterday was an example of where we are, we're okay. Yeah. You know, there's got a lot of young guys that really stepped up. And I am a big John Franklin Myers fan. And I would love for them to figure out how to sign him. I don't think they're going to. And that's why they drafted the way they drafted. And that's fine. You're going to lose players you want.
It's part of the game.
This team needs to put an emphasis on attacking the ball.
Yep.
You know, and I think doing that's going to create some short fields, especially on a game where you got a backup quarterback. But it's like, I don't know what Sean was thinking, man. Just help the guy out. Don't say, well, the defense was really balling, so we thought we could play like, you know.
That doesn't make sense. Take the points then. You take the points.
Yes.
Stupid. No. And he is willing to die on that hill. And there's people that want to fire him. I say no, let's step back a bit. But that was stupid.
That's ridiculous.
No.
It's a dumb thing.
Do you remember where we were 2 years ago?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. No, if we don't get to the Super Bowl in 3 years, then that's a conversation we should be having. But right now, no, he's not even on the hot seat. Like, and I'm not saying fire him. I'm just saying that's a conversation to be had. But look, So, Scott, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, unless we got somebody that we think is better, and I don't know that we do. I didn't agree when we fired Mike Shanahan, and I know his message had seemed to fall on some deaf ears, but I don't know. You know, I think you
didn't go well after that.
These guys are winners for a reason, and they are very draining when we're not winning. Sean Payton just drains you sometimes because he his personality and his type A-ness and his I'm right and you're wrong, even though he's wrong, is a problem. You got to have a little humility and you got to have a little bit of introspection on who you are and what you're doing. And I pray at night he figures that out.
Yeah, but Flagman, do we get to the AFC Championship without that mentality in 3 years?
No, but you got to also.
Maybe you just got to accept it.
I agree. I don't want a new coach. I've been a big Sean believer from day one. But it's maddening when you go to you want to die on a hill where you obviously screwed it up. Just say, I screwed it up. I thought we could make it. But I don't even understand the play.
No.
Just,
what if that mentality gets us to the Super Bowl in the next 2 years, though?
Hey, I'm okay with that. Because I'd rather listen to that than old curmudgeon Vic.
No, God,
Von Miller's an okay player, but shut the F up. Moron.
Yep. Look, guys, we're in a good spot. We really are. It always sucks to see the season end. If we had Bo Nix, we'd be talking very happily tonight, I believe. But it didn't happen that way. And it's part of the game. Injuries happen. But we're going to get Bo back next year. And year 3 for him, another year of Sean Payton and his system and the culture that he's built there. And if anything, it's going to make these guys even hungrier. Last year we got to we lost the wild card game and they're like, we got the playoffs and now we want more. Now they're sitting here going like, we were a few plays away from the Super Bowl. Talk about getting some, a chip on your shoulder and really just getting some fire and light a fire into your ass. So these guys, I like where we're going. It's going to be an interesting offseason, see what we do. And there's going to be a lot of conversation around that. So make sure you guys are joining us every Tuesday night throughout the offseason. We just talk about things that are going on, ramping up to free agency, the draft, and all that good stuff. And it'll be tough at times, but we'll get through it and we'll have fun together. So Adam, John, Scott the Flagman, guys, you are all fantastic. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm going to miss these post-game podcasts for the next several months, but we will see you guys as we rotate you all through on the Tuesday night shows to keep you guys fresh and energized and, not get too rusty when it comes to podcasting. So seriously, thank you guys for everything. Last thing really quickly, guys, fan appreciation episode coming up in a few weeks. We'll announce when that exactly is going to be, but a great show. Just hang out, have a good time. Tons of giveaways that we're going to be doing to celebrate not only our 10th year, but say thank you to all of you guys for yet another great year of supporting us and watching us and chatting with us and all that good stuff. So another annual fan appreciation show coming up soon. Guys, with that being said, let's wrap it up. We'll see you back here for another episode of the Bourbon Broncos and 𝐂𝐫𝐲 post-game podcast later on this year. But for now, we're going to sign off with a very strong, as we always do, Go Broncos!
Go Broncos!
Go Broncos!
Take care, guys.
In the zone, here I go. In the zone, here I go.